Welcome in, folks. We have a very special guest joining us via satellite. We have Chef Simon Majumdar, who is a world-renowned speaker, author, and cook, talking about hunger in the U.S. and how you can help. Chef Simon, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
So Chef Simon, to start off, maybe some people don't think about hunger, especially in the United States, but we've had a lot of hurricanes, the COVID-19 pandemic, wildfires in California, where people might have issues with food security. How big of a problem is it in the United States?
It's a great question. Well, even before the pandemic, hunger was one of these kind of things that was always in America. 35 million people wondering what they were going to eat, if they were going to eat every night. 10 million of those were children. So really, really tough. But as you said, during the pandemic, things have got worse. People have been displaced. People may have lost their jobs. During the wildfires, the floods, the hurricanes, again, people may have been displaced. And now it's even tougher. So for me, as a newish American, I think this is a great opportunity for Americans to show what we do best, which is to be really kind to our friends and neighbors when they need it.
Now, normally people run to non-perishable food items, canned items, things like that. What are some of the important things that people should be looking for to give out to help people?
Well, I think you touched on exactly the right thing, because a lot of people want to sometimes give fresh food and milk and all of those things, but those things can go off very quickly. And if we don't know if people have refrigeration or freezers, then that can be very tough. So the non-perishables, I think, are the key. For me, I always say, think about what you would want to do if you were at home and you were in that circumstance. So for me, I'd want dried goods that I could multi-purpose, things like oats that you could have in the morning with raisins or dried fruit to give you lots of nutrition, but you could use them as a breading in the evening. People often look down on cans, but cans are full of nutritious goods. Things like beans, pulses, they work really, really well. Canned tomatoes work fantastic. And the other thing that I often say is things like spices. People want their food to be delicious, even if they're struggling. So adding spices to something that might otherwise be bland, like rice, I think is a great idea to give some people some options there, and then let them play around with them. And I've made some recipes here as well, just to show you how even if you are struggling a little bit, you can still make food that's nutritious but really delicious as well.
Now, some people with the canned foods might go, well, what do I do with this? How can I make it a good meal? You actually have some examples in front of you. What some of the recipes that you've come up with?
Well, I set myself a challenge, which I love doing. And so I just took, apart from a little bit of parsley I put on top to make it look pretty, I made two dishes where all I used was dried and canned goods. So the first one I did chickpeas and spinach and tomatoes, which is really delicious anyway, a little bit of cumin in there. And then I made these chili corn cakes using canned corn, chicken breast in a can. But actually, you know what? I'd be really happy to serve this at any time. I was really thrilled with how it turned out. Same with this pilaf, which is just cooked rice mixed through with nuts and apricots and things that, again, going to be really delicious. And if you have that nice and warm and you have this meal together, you're going to really set yourself up. And that's what we want people to think of their suppers and their lunches as something that's really going to set them up.
Now, you're here with Convoy of Hope. How can people get more information and find out how they can help their neighbors in need?
Absolutely. Well, convoyofhope.org is the website. This organization has fed 100 million meals during the pandemic, which is incredible. But we want to set them up if they need to feed another 100 million people. And we hope they don't have to, but we want to help them do that. So convoyofhope.org. And if you go convoyofhope.org/Simon, you'll actually get these two recipes. So if people try them, I hope maybe they'll come and let me know on my social media, because I'd love to know that these get tried. But convoyofhope.org, and they'll tell you all the best ways that you can donate to help get food into the hands of our friends and families.
Chef Simon, I want to thank you again for taking the time.
My very great pleasure. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, you too. Folks, we have much more still to come. Stay with us.
Studio.